Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Survival Impossible Multiplayer. Today I'm going to have a little look at making a little printer area so we can print out some little ships on the cheap and just keep them going, so when we go into combat, if we take a lot of damage on a ship, it'll just be faster to print a new one instead of sitting there trying to weld it all up. Also I'm going to be looking at making a little scrapping system, so when we get a lot of scrap build up and finding the refineries, taking a long time to get to the actual scrap because of the amount of resources we got at the moment. So I just want to set up a little refinery area that will just only take the scrap and just free up some space really. Right. Just before we start that, reset the daily needs. For a little tip, if you want to quickly update your daily needs stuff, jump on your toilet and there it goes. Obviously you need the food and drinks with you. So starting off with the scrap system, I was preferably looking at adding something similar to what we got here, but from this container back to the refinery. But just have one particular basic refinery running on a sort of system just to prevent stuff going through that we don't want. And that way it should collect all the scrap without letting the containers build up. Obviously after the last couple of episodes of catching some of the craft, we did start to get a big build up of resources that took a long time to refine. So here we go. So we're going to need best place to do this. So I'll leave this side here free for if we need to expand more containers of oxygen and H2 bottles. Oops. This way so we can extend if we ever need more of the actual big refineries. Guess we could come off here and have a second refinery. Now, first of all, if we take you, we had a T-piece. We would then want a sorter to stop any ores coming through. Control panel now, good. You know what, one refinery should be plenty enough. But just in case we want to extend in the future, if we leave the tank out, if we I'd rather not look back into those refinery stairs. So if we come from that conveyor now, that one just pulls oxygen and hydrogen from the solar panels from below, so it ain't particularly an essential at the moment, but we'll build this one first. We will need a second sorter facing towards it. This will prevent anything coming back from the other way, back to the actual refinery. Use that like that. That should be it. Let's quickly turn this off. So now we'll start filling up with ore, so we don't want it to take any ore. So this sort off, we name this one scrap bypass. We shouldn't need it to drain, because technically the refinery would do that. So now with the filters, we need to find all the scrap components. I probably will end up adding rock as well, or stone, because I'm finding that a lot of the time the stones just builds up and it refines very quickly, so it shouldn't cause too many issues adding it. Computer scrap. So when you're going through the menu, if you hold control and just left click on the item, it will just add it to the list without selecting everything else or just deselecting the previous item.
Energy low.
Energy low. Radio. Reactor scrap. Large tube, solar cells, plate, superconductors, thruster scrap. Let's just double check we haven't put anything on there that shouldn't be there. Yep. That's good. Should really get a little generator, gravity gen on the base. Restock with bottles. So now with the second conveyor. We just name this one scrap return. That shouldn't mean anything, that just needs to be left on. So that means anything that comes through there can go back through to the main system. Build efficient. If we rename this one scrap. So now we can find that easier. I'll chuck this scrap here now. A second. Right. So we need to remove that. That shouldn't be doing anything like that no more. This scrap. Alright, so now if we turn this refinery back on. You can now find the container that had the ingots in. And all the scrap's gone. Right, that seems to be working nicely. And we wanted to add some stone to this as well, if I remember correctly. Because as you can see, we've got a container there with stone in them. In the alpha ore container, it's basically working through this container first before this container. So it will process all these minerals first, so obviously it goes from the top down, so it's going to do the ice with the generators. If the generators haven't got work, obviously the refineries won't pull it, so it will go straight onto the next material, then so on and so on, depending what it can use. So with this container being below it, it will do this container here first. Once all the ore's all been processed, it will move on to the second container and start pouring from there basically. So by adding stone to the conveyor here, this will allow the actual conveyor to pull stone as well. Let's change that. Stone. Add stone. Stone added. So now if we find stone, you can see it's been pulled from the container down to the scrap container, and that's been processed. Lovely. So that's that part done. So the next thing we're going to be working on is basically a printer system. Basically just here I've assembled two pistons going down to a little rotor with a projector. If we turn the projector on, I've preloaded the craft I built many years ago, and the idea is that we'll print these out, and when we go into battle they get destroyed or damaged to a point where we'll just scrap them and make a new one. So the quick way to build these is have a stack of refined welders just up there. I've worked out the rough layout of where we're going to need the actual welders placed. So we'll pick the station. If we just go into spectator, So we projector, blueprints, just make sure it's the right one. Oh, and that one, this build strikes shadow, so yes, craft. Alright, we have 2 projectors, so projector, print up. I always like to name the projectors and stuff, so it just makes it easier to find here. So you've got a base one, it's the big one up top, and this is this one. So from here, we have toggle one off. Right click, we're going to want decrease horizontal, increase horizontal, increase vertical, increase vertical, decrease forwards, backwards, and we're going to need to flip it around, so 2 more, so we want to pitch, I believe. No, pitch is up and down here. Probably got this wrong, but no hating. Right, 8, number 8. Yeah, never mind. We flip that round. There we go. So basically we just need to line it up to a similar as this. So if we come out, we find piston, one of these, that's the second one. I think those pistons have been switched off, so there we go. So now we just need to raise this up just to make sure that it's in line with where the actual welders are going to go. So we need to move this forwards and backwards. So 6 and 5, 6 and 7. Looking at that, I want to set it needs to go on to the right, maybe 2 to the right. So yep, that's definitely right. So if we reverse that now, so now we need to make 4 little do's. way. So we get the resources just to build one. I'm going to stock up a little bit more steel. And a quick way to build one of these. Always work from the middle outwards. So basically have a connector on the top and one on each of the on two of the sides out the four. So always line them up in a row. So you have your master one. And from now place a second, third. You might be wondering why I'm not building the others yet. You will soon say once I turn the first one on, it will start building the ones around it, and once they're constructed, they'll build the ones around them. That's all of them. Obviously with these, once they turn on, they will try to weld you as well, so keep out of the way, because they will kill you. Let them we're in a safe zone. But when you're not in a safe zone, they do like to spark you. Right. Let's re-find the welders. As you can see, I've already tested this just to make sure that it works. So this is going to be printer pad. Sparks for the future, because that's quite a fancy one. We place that out. Right. So bar number one will be groups, printer pad, toggle one off. Button two can be piston reverse. Reverse the piston back up while the printer swelled itself up. So on this side, the welders are all out of sync now. So if we do a master off, they're all off. Now if we switch that, they're all back on. Lovely. Now with the ship, the projector won't print until it has something the projector is connected to. That won't accept that. Yeah, it will do. But I'll never like printing straight to a key component like a shield generator, so if we put that on now, so you can see just inside we have a darker patch. Was selected. That would be the first build point of the projection. It's almost in place. Just do one more check just to make sure everything's right. Yep. Right. We are good to go. Before we start. So, projections in line, we turn the well pads on, I will start building, we reverse the piston, just like magic. Obviously they can only build the parts that are free from the actual welders, so sometimes you think it's stopped when there's still a little bit more to do. I believe that's it. She's complete. If we turn the pistons off, we have one finished ship. So all we need to do now is just make sure all the batteries are on charge, because obviously it's only just printed, so the batteries will be flat. Also, the ship has a lot of little reactors in it, so if we grab some uranium, that should help charge the batteries. Now the first thing I really want to do is disconnect it from this well pad. So now this should have enough charge with the reactors to move it off the build pad. So now that's a free grid. Plug her down here. So now here we can stockpile the tanks, get some juicing off. We can also turn these reactors off and put the batteries on charge. Turn the generator on and it withdraws some ice in, so we've got some backup reserves for the ice. Oxygen tank full and the hydrogen tank full. And there we go. All we need to do is just load up some rockets. Rockets. So we got 3. So obviously with these small little rockets, they don't have a loading system on them. You can get the slightly larger variant that has a medium cargo conveyor that connects them up, but just down to the space and that with this craft when I was altering it, I didn't upgrade it to the self-loading. I'll try them out. And now we have ammo, and that's it. We have our first printed ship ready for battle. Yeah, and there's a charger up there. Only she had a little bit more power in her, otherwise we could have gone and tested it out. And that's it for this time. I'll see you next time.